examining. We've often purported the idea in the industry that staff retention and recruitment are seriously affected by workplace. I think we have to understand better how that actually works and how we can use that knowledge to make sure that both recruitment, retention and everything in between, the periods when people are just working for organisations, actually works as well as it can. So that's one fundamental thing, and it's really about that link between groups of people, the work they do, the productivity that actually encourages.
I believe that as new technologies come into the workplace and as the ability to know where people are through tagging technologies and recognition, facial recognition technologies become prevalent, then there are real ethical questions and cultural questions associated with deployment of these technologies. I think the real questions are to do with how do we make this of a benefit to the end user, the staff in an office, so that they are happy to be tracked because it brings something back to them.
I think the big holy grail in research is to come up with the really robust metrics that relate business effectiveness to physical work environment. I think that research has touched around the edges and found some connections, but most of the body of research data is largely anecdotal at the present. I think that the research community, the academic research community, and the property community and the architectural community have got to work together to come up with the irrefutable academic case for better workplace design leading to better business performance.
I think we should really get understanding about different generations in work life, different values to use workplaces. That's a very important key question for future. As well, I think the more and more information about usability of network of places. Work is not taking place only in one building, in one office. Knowledge worker is working a bit here, a bit there. Who is then taking care of the whole big holistic view, the network of the places, and understanding that usability in all those places is actually part of the productivity.
Important research questions for now and for the future are of course thinking more in depth about sustainability, and in particular to make the connection between people, profit and planet, because some studies are just focusing on planet and others are maybe focusing on economy, but they don't come together. So that's really an important issue. Internationalization, I think, globalization, is the impact of that trend. For instance, local culture can have an impact on preferences, on requirements. What about international firms working in completely different countries? Is it really an issue or is it not? Indeed, what we talked about, the greying society, so the Einstein generation, as we call it, will they have different requirements, will they cope in a different way with different environments, or is the difference not that big as we expect? But also the old, more traditional issues like satisfaction, productivity, motivation, and in particular the connection. For instance, the slogan, happy worker is productive worker. Is it true? Under which conditions is it true? In which environments is it true? These are interesting issues.
If you look at this area of this new world of work, and you look at the academic arena, then I think it's important to learn about the interaction between people and technology. What I mean by that is that you can implement any technology in any organization. You only get the benefit out of it if people take advantage of this technology as a human being by using it in a way that they become more empowered, that they can better collaborate, that they can share knowledge, and so on. And I think this is an area, the interaction between an individual or a group of people and the technology, where we're only just begun, in fact, and we have to learn a lot going forward. What I find an interesting area to further explore, and I think for universities is an interesting area, has to do with the physical workplace in itself. If we go back 10, 15 years, then an office space was rather grey and was based on productivity. What you see here, it's more based on collaboration, how people work together, how an employee can increase the productivity by being facilitated by the physical workspace. And I am very curious on how different generations of people will look at this development. My assumption was that young people would be energized by this building, but first their way of looking at it is more conservative than I anticipated on. And I'm curious if that's based on the generation of people or it has to do with other factors, but from that perspective there's still a lot to develop and a lot to learn.